is not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello everyone, my name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that actually subscribes to my show and show me love. And without you guys, there wouldn't be no legends. In the House of the Legends, I have two artists. One's actually an artist and one's a producer. And they all came out with this track called That Beat. So in the House of the Legends, I bring you Aiysha Simon and Edgar Torres. Welcome to The Legends.
All right, thanks for having us here.
And you know, man, I've known Edgar for like forever, man. I mean, he sends me all his stuff, and I do play him.
Thank you,
You know,
thank you.
because he got some bombing stuff, you know.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Aiysha. Aiysha,
right.
tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a spoken word artist by trade. I'm an occupational therapist. I do a lot of things. I would say I'm probably a jack of a lot of trades.
Okay.
I do poetry, I do art, I do all types of stuff. I do event planning. I have an event planning company. I do a lot of different things. And I'm a mom of two
Okay.
children.
Okay.
I do a lot of community-based work. So I do a lot of everything.
So how did you get to spoken words? I mean, as far as the genre itself.
So I was a poet since I was younger. I got into poetry when I was very young. But during the pandemic, I got back into poetry. Started writing again, just to pass some of the time, because with the pandemic, a lot of us were kind of indoors. I was homeschooling my kids at that time.
Okay.
And then I started getting back into writing poetry, and it just took off from there. Like I just started writing. I haven't really stopped. I was able to have enough content to do a poetry podcast. So I have like a lot of pieces, like over 100 pieces
Wow.
on a poetry podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be sending her some tracks, Edgar.
All right, all right. Yes.
Send them.
Edgar Torres, producer. Now, Edgar's been a producer for a very long time, as far as I know, because he sends me a lot of his stuff, and I play on LWR, and I play a lot of his stuff. But before we even get into Edgar, we're going to give out a shout out to Disco Dave.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't be the same unless we actually mentioned him.
Yeah.
So Edgar, tell the viewers about yourself.
Well, I'm a graphic designer, music producer, singer, video editor. Like her, I have many different things that I do. And basically just love helping and supporting our community, basically, using the arts, yeah.
So how did you get into producing?
It just kind of evolved since I was a kid.
Okay.
And I have my own studio, and I just work from home and just develop the tracks there and just send it to the next level.
Okay. And as far as your feedback for your tracks, how has it been?
Very
I like your
positive.
stuff. Your stuff is the bomb. I mean, let's not get it twisted. This guy really puts it down, as far as the house genre.
Thank
And that's
you.
why I love, because you know me. If it don't sound right, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna tell you. You know me.
right.
You know me.
Yeah, you don't pull no punches.
If it don't sound good, and what can I say? I'm not gonna waste my time and your time
Yeah.
and stuff. So tell us about some of the tracks that you've actually done, and and who was actually engaged with you.
Okay. We released like 5 tracks last year.
Right.
And we're starting off this year with Aiysha Simon. And I just sent her a sample of this track called That Beat. That beat was actually inspired by DJ Frankie Paradise.
Right. Shout out to Frankie Paradise.
Yes.
Yes. And then I gave it to her, and because she did some beautiful work with Zayling on this track called Wicked D, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A Wicked D? Okay.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that. I remember that when he sent me that.
I was quite impressed.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed on what she brought to the table in terms of her spoken word.
Okay.
Just amazing. I'm like, wow, let's see if we can put that on this track called That Beat.
Right.
And I just love what she brought. She's just like right on time. It was like, this was like perfect for the
Right.
track, Not too much, just right for the track. So
Okay.
yes, yeah. Thank you so much for what you did. Your
Well, thank you,
contribution
sir.
is very much appreciated.
I appreciate you
Aisha,
for
how do
having
you
me.
actually develop the energy to actually say, I'm going to write this down, and the energy that you're putting into it? What are you receiving back from it? I mean, from people?
As far as this track is
Right.
concerned,
Or any track that you do.
well, I mean, for overall, it's expression, right? It's
Right.
artistry, and it just feels good. First of all, to get it out. It's cathartic to like write and to get out your thoughts, your feelings. Music is healing, and
Right.
poetry has been healing for me as well. Like I was able to get through a lot of different things in life just by writing. And I think there's a power in our words. There's a power
Right.
in writing that I think sometimes we forget about. So when Edgar brought this project to me, and let me just say, Zaylin was the one that was like, I hear you doing your poetry, your spoken words, and I like it. And he was like, I want you on this track. And so that opened the door for Edgar to see some of the stuff that I was doing and to pull me in on this.
Okay.
And Frankie Paradise and Edgar, they really masterminded the track that we
Thank you.
worked on. It's a beautiful project. But it's like spiritual.
Right.
There's energies around the things that you're saying. People hear the words that you're saying. So far, everybody that I've shared the piece with, they're like, wow, this is like good. The music, I was just stoked by the music itself. Like the music to me was phenomenal.
But Edgar actually puts it down.
He does. He's like the super producer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not better than me, but
Listen, I'm not
what
gonna,
can I say?
I'm not gonna say nothing about that. I'm gonna mind my business.
Well, a little humor doesn't. I mean, but I do talk to Edgar a lot because I use a different door that he has, and I'm always asking him about the door that he uses. Sorry, I haven't come over there for you to teach me the door itself, but in due time. But getting back to the therapeutic usage of the way that you actually put your fidelity into your spoken words, is it based on some of your life experiences as well?
Absolutely. I mean, things that I've personally gone through, things that I've seen, things that I've heard of, because this is the human experience, right? Like we all have a shared experience. We all have things that kind of intersect as far as experiences are concerned.
Right.
So when we start talking about somebody else is like, yeah, I went through the same thing, or, this made me feel a certain type of way, or this made me feel better, I want to be a part of that. That's
Okay.
also why I became a therapist. So.
Okay. Well, I gotta give her my number before I leave, man. Because, I need some therapy, man.
We all can use therapy.
Well, you know what?
need
We all
it.
can.
Yes.
Right.
Especially these days and times,
Yes.
My whole thing, if you're not spiritually inclined with yourself, well, I can't really say for everybody's higher power. I mean, I'm gonna say my higher power.
Right.
If I'm not really in sync with him, I think I'll be a mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do this show. I do different types of show. I do spirituality show. I do upcoming artists, legends, things of that nature, man. And everybody has a story, man. But you're not spiritually inclined, man. Life is going to make you really miserable. The energy is not going to be the way it is, and without you really having a higher power in your life, I call him Jesus Christ. I don't know what you call yours. I don't know what you call yours, but this is what I choose,
Right.
and things of that nature. So Edgar, how do you feel when you're in a club and they actually play your music, man? I mean, have you been to that part yet?
Oh my goodness, it's like amazing. One time, I told this guy I'm Edgar Torres of this track called "Give Them Love" back in the day, which made number 13 on the track, whatever, on USA Update. He said, "You're Edgar Torres?" He said, "Come on in." I got in the club for free. I was like, "Oh snap, this works." So I got your record. So he's like, "I'm in the club with the DJ."
So how do you feel him being so excited like that? What was running through your mind, man?
I was like, he's actually gonna play my record. And he says, "I love your track." He's like, I couldn't believe it. Is this a dream? He's like, "I love this track." And he's pulling out the track and he's playing it. And I was like, just totally amazed. It's just, words cannot explain the amazement feeling that you get, like when you're in the club and you hear your music.
That reminds me, I was in a place one time, because I play all over the world. So it's like, it's funny where you actually meet people, but I was in a specific time and place. And this girl ran up to me. She says, "Are you Tyrone Lowe from the show The Legends?" And I was like, "Okay." And she brought 5 other girls over there. "You're Tyrone Lowe." And I was like, that showed you how God works. Because, you know, I never really thought that my show would actually be in terms of expanding the way that it does, you know. And I believe that at that point, though, that in every genre or any craft that you do, God uses you as a vessel.
Come on, somebody.
Don't get me to start preaching up in here.
Go ahead.
But I'm
already
being
preaching.
honest with you. I'm serious.
No, you're
You
absolutely
know, everybody
right.
has a story, man. I've interviewed celebrity types, and they have a story.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
from their highs, their lows, and how God actually gave them a turnaround and things of that nature. I'm not being a Christian. This is not a Christian show, y'all. I'm just giving facts like it is.
Come on.
You know, but that's what it is. You know, my gift is not your gift, and your gift is not your gift. You know, stuff like that. So, Aiysha,
Yes, sir.
so you're going to do a live performance for us.
I am.
And she said that she was nervous. But it's
am.
okay, though. That shows that you're alive.
But yeah, the things are working. So
Well, you
things are
know, the
working.
comfortability is here. You know, it's not like, you know, you're not at Madison Square Garden or the Nassau
Right.
Coliseum and
Yet.
stuff like that. You know, if you get nervous, just keep your eyes on the prize.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely.
Word to the wise.
So what's going on, Edgar? What's next on the agenda for you, man?
So much. I got some new people that I'm working with and developing stuff as we speak. Because right after I finish here, I'm going to work on another project.
Right.
So I just stay busy.
Okay.
So I'll just keep you guys posted, you know.
Okay. Aiysha,
Yes.
are you just going to do house music, or there's going to be another genre as far as what you're putting down right now, as far as your poetry?
Well, I mean, the poetry kind of is a standalone. I do all types of content as far as the poetry is concerned. Doing spoken word over tracks thus far has been house music.
Right.
But I would love to do other types of music as well. Like, I love first of all, I love all kinds of music. Everything you can think of, except for maybe hardcore, you know, heavy metal. But
It's a possibility, too.
listen, if the right person comes
I mean, you might not
along
have the
and-
rough voice for like, you know what I mean? But it's possible.
Who knows? I'm open to the universe, you know?
Right.
But, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where things are going to go. I feel like, you know, the first project that I got on definitely opened the doors.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be, you know, boxed in and say that I only want to do, you know, one genre of music.
Right.
As far as it's concerned, because, you know, spoken word is artistry, and it could go anywhere and over anything. So
Okay.
I'm open. I'm open.
Would you be willing to write for other people as well, as far as producing them with your spoken word poetry?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've actually asked to do some of that work as well. And I wanted to start getting into some, because I know that poetry and songwriting are very much the same, right?
In a sense,
there's
yeah.
an artistry to songwriting,
Right.
you know, that I actually want to learn about. So once I get into that, yeah, I definitely would not be opposed to doing some writing for other people, for sure.
Okay.
Nice.
Edgar, you know, you amaze me, man. I got to say it because, like I said, your music itself shows who you are. And every time he sends me something, I call him back right away. Hey, this is the bomb. This is the bomb. And I can hear Disco Dave in the back. Yo, he likes it. You know, what you feel? But that's cool, though. You know, you have a very good circle, man. You got Frankie Paradise. You got other people that's involved and things like that. And like I said, again, shout out to Frankie Paradise. You know, because he's putting it out. He's putting it out there
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is.
and stuff like that. So let me ask you a question, Edgar. Where would you like to be at least 5 years from now, as far as your music genre? I mean, we live a day at a time, but can you just project a picture of where you want to be at? You know, would I be sitting in the back of you when you go up there and get that global award or something like that? I mean, you know. Don't forget about me though. But I'm not.
No way. I would have never gotten it if it wasn't for
where do
you.
where
People
do
like you and her.
Yeah, but where do you see yourself? You know, as far as this journey.
So it's really about building a name. It's all about a name and reaching the masses and helping the community. So if I could do all of that, build my name, reach the masses, you know, on a global level, you know, that would just be awesome, you know, and just mostly helping and supporting the community, you know.
Right.
You know, that to me, I just love something about helping people that does something to me spiritually.
Okay.
So as long as I know I'm being positive and productive and supportive in my journey, you know, then I know I'm in the right place.
Okay. So what actually gave you the phase to say, like, I really want to help my community? You know, was it the surroundings and things that you were actually seeing to the point where you said, you know, I really want to put a little bit of me into this so we can actually make things a little bit better in the community?
Yes. It's about a purpose, I believe.
Okay.
You know, so there's so, like you were just saying, there's so much need for help out here.
Right.
And if I can be a contributing part towards, you know, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, you know, so we can see this vision of hope, then I'm down. I'm all for it. You know?
Okay. And that's pretty cool, man, because we need a lot of that.
Yes.
You know, we need a lot of prayer,
Yes.
you know, things of that nature, man, because my whole thing is that I don't get involved in politics and things of that nature because that does not apply to my life.
Right.
You know, if I let that be a part of my life, then that means they win, because I don't want to be a part of their life.
Right.
It's negative.
Yeah.
What you got to say about that, Aiysha?
About negativity or
Yeah.
politics.
I mean, the surrounding, the atmospheric conditions of what we're living in right now.
I mean, I think that
Or should I say, I don't want to sound like a preacher, but revelation. You know, I mean, what do you feel about what's going on now and things of that nature?
I mean, we live in tumultuous times, but I think there's always been tumultuous times. But like you said, I think that's why it's important to have faith, right?
Right.
It's important to have something that you lean on, whether it's other people, whether it is your faith. You know, we do. I strongly believe that you do have to believe that there's a higher power.
Most
because
definitely,
if you don't, right, like then you tend to discredit the things that are, you know, out of our control. Like we don't
Right.
have control over a lot of things, but the things that we do have control over ourselves, you know, the things that we put out in the world, our energies around other people, I think that's most important. Like to me, like we talked about earlier about being happy, you know, of course you're not gonna be happy 24/7.
Of course
you know,
not.
But it's an energy. I think that we do need to devote and we need to think about how we're spending our time here because it's very short. You know,
Yes.
I work in the hospital and I see, you know, it's like here to, and even just living, you see, it's like here today, going tomorrow, right?
Right.
Like you're talking to somebody and the next thing you hear, they passed away. And it's like, wow, like that's crazy. Like, so we only have a limited amount of time here.
Right.
Me personally, I always say, like, I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want my children to be unhappy. I don't want the people around me to be unhappy. I want to bring some sort of light. Like, that's one of the things that my grandmother talked about when she was alive. She was like, make things better. Make the room better. When you leave it better than when you first walked in. And I truly believe that. And I try to take that with me in everything that I do, whether I'm going somewhere, whether I'm at work, whether I'm working on a project, like whatever it is, try to just leave things better than how I found it. So I think
Okay.
that's important.
Well, you know, we talk about certain things as being community-based and atmospheric conditions and things of that nature. My main concern is the upcoming of the children that has to follow this mist of things that we're going through right now, and how do they actually adopt to it because they're being robbed of their education. They're not being taught to be authoritarians, things of that nature. They're spiritually lacked and things of that nature. And if you had a chance to actually change all that, Edgar, how would you actually do it? Or how would you think that you would have to apply that to the youths?
Well, children love to play, and you know sometimes they have a short attention span. So it's all back to being creative again.
Okay.
And like having finding a ways to using my arts, you know, to entertain but yet educate.
Right.
You know.
Set by example in a sense.
Yeah, because I do videography as well, and they're jamming on the music, but at the same time getting a message, then I'm helping out, the community or children, so they can be better at what they do.
Aiysha, what's your next move? Well, I mean, what would you like to do next? As far as that, let's tell the viewers what you want to do and things of that nature. And if you don't have an answer for that, give me your contact information.
I mean, next, like I said, I want to just stay open to whatever is available. As far as projects are concerned, I want to continue my artistry. I want to continue to write. I want to continue to produce and go, get on people's tracks and stuff like that. And even doing more work as far as me becoming a producer of sorts, right? Like being able to help people work on certain projects and stuff like that. I want to be able to, whatever skill set I have, be able to share it with other people. Like I believe in, whatever information you have, you can share it freely.
Right.
I feel like we come up in a time now where people are like, oh, you got to pay me for the stuff that I know. I'm like, where is this mindset coming from? You know, so.
All right, so quickly, tell the viewers how can they contact you. Give me your email address.
So I am on, first I'm on social media.
Okay.
So I have, if you want to hear my poetry, for instance, it's called Voiced Volumes. It's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, and it's on most podcasting platforms. It's called Voice Volumes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So if you want to hear my spoken word artistry, it's on those platforms. And you can reach me on Facebook underneath Aiysha Simon.
Okay.
Hit me up, DM me.
Okay.
My DMs are open, and I'm here.
All right, quickly, Edgar, how can viewers contact you?
My email address is Edgar T 123 exactly @gmail.com.
Wow, exactly. You know what?
It's fun and easy to remember.
I want to thank you guys, man, for taking the time out to come to my show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Open experiences and things of that nature. And what I like about this show, it wasn't just about the music. It was about the picture that you're actually drawing and actually giving it back to the community, and giving the children messages, things of that nature. And this has been another T-Lo video production. You guys stay tuned for Aiysha Simon because she's going to do a live performance on my show. Don't miss it. So stay tuned for another episode.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Feel the rhythm. Let's go, bass. Pulling them drums. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. That beat. Where bass provides the rhythm, bass. Drums provide the beat, drums. This rhythm, drop that beat, drop that beat, that beat. Feel the rhythm. Percussion leads the rhythm, bands us in musical sorcery. Let these notes make delivery straight to your soul. Feel the rhythm. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. That beat. Yes. Drop that beat. Feel the rhythm. Let's go, bass. Pulling them drums. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. Yes. Yes. That beat. Feel the rhythm. Let's go, bass. Pulling them drums. Yes. Feel the rhythm. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. That beat. Ah, that beat. Feel the rhythm. Let's go, bass. Pulling them drums. Yes. Feel the rhythm. Bass provides the rhythm. Bass. Drums provide the beat. Drums. This rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Yes. Yes. Feel the rhythm. Let's go, bass. Pulling them drums. Yes. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. That beat. Drop that beat. Yes. That beat. Drop that beat. Drop that beat. Pulling them drums. Let's go, bass. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Yes.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.